I'm sorry, I'm just not over this yet. This was just too iconic for me. The message he really sent to America was insane. Kendrick performing all of this knowing Trump was in the stands was insane. We're going to be talking about this for the next couple of days. This was really a 10 out of 10 performance. He said there was a
You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bet. Bah. It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we got to do. You got to hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is. You are the prize in 2025. You are the prize. Why did I do it this way? But either way, welcome back to the channel. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. We back with another one. Yeah, we all seen it. We all seen it. We gonna get into it. You make it to the end of this one, you a real one for real. This is gonna be interesting. The Super Bowl, conspiracy theories, we here. Let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
A halftime show wasn't supposed to be entertainment. It was a message laced with symbolism about our government and control. In the lyrics, the revolution about to be televised. Right time for the wrong guy. Kendrick warned the audience to pay close attention. Samuel L. Jackson dressed as Uncle Sam, a national personification of the United States, symbolizing our government and our military. Uncle Sam represents patriotism and national identity. But with Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam, Kendrick was making a statement. He was telling his people to get ready. The division of the American flag highlighted the division in America. The Crips dressed in blue, the Bloods dressed in red. Together, they symbolize our country coming together in unity. The stars and the stripes were divided, illuminating the division in America. Serena Williams' hands shone, lifting the people up. This was more than just a halftime show.
He went deep. Pause. Do your own research. This is gonna be interesting.
We have to talk about this insane Super Bowl conspiracy theory. In the last 3 Super Bowls, 5 of the 6 teams have had logos whose colors coordinate with the logo of that year's Super Bowl. This is the official Super Bowl logo for 2025. Let's pay attention to these colors, red and green. If you take a look at the Chiefs and the Bills, both team logos have one color in common, red. And on the other side of the bracket, the Philadelphia Eagles, who brought back these green jerseys last year, are now 1 win away from the Super Bowl. And if they win, it will be the 3rd time in 4 years that the Super Bowl logo accurately predicted the color of the teams playing in it. I mean, this is insane. These logos come out a year in advance, so there is no way they can accurately predict these matchups. Has the script already been written on the Eagles winning the NFC Championship Sunday? Let me know in the comments.
Did y'all see the hidden message at the Super Bowl halftime show with Kendrick Lamar? Right after he finishes, there's a message in the stands lit up. I'm gonna show y'all. Let's get into it. Now look closely, family. Game over, family. Now, obviously, it's a football game. It's the Super Bowl, but what else could it be game over about, right? Like, could it be game over with, like, I mean, obviously, Kendrick been finished Drake. But, I mean, like, as far as Drake getting help from the industry like he has in previous years, or is this more of a more sinister thing, like, for the masses to kind of look more into? Like I said, this is for educational entertainment purposes only. But y'all know with these large events like a Super Bowl and stuff like that, you gotta always look for what could be hidden messages. And seeing that game over flash up there real quick and subtly, not too obvious, well, I just thought it'd be something to bring up and talk about. And I'd like to hear from y'all. What do y'all think about this game over hidden message in the Super Bowl? Leave what y'all think below. Peace and one love.
I think that was to Drake, if you ask me. What you think?
This is my 13th Grammy.
Damn.
Which is my lucky number. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
You guys know what Super Bowl this is? It's 58. You know what 5 plus 8 is? 13. It's Taylor Swift's album called 13.
Yo!
That's another date of the Super Bowl.
It's the 11th.
Of
February.
It's 11 plus 2.
Yeah.
Are they playing?
The 49ers.
It's 4 plus 9.
Dude, come on.
Nah.
13.
Just saying. What seed are the 49ers?
The 1 seed.
What seed are the Chiefs?
The 2 seed.
No, the 3.
No.
1, 3.
13.
This dude is...
Taylor Swift coming from? She's coming from Tokyo to the Super Bowl.
What does that mean?
A flight from Tokyo to Las Vegas.
It's 13 hours.
It's 13 hours.
No
You know how many
way.
games Taylor Swift has been to?
13.
12.
This is the 13.
The Super Bowl will be the 13th.
And now that means they lost?
The Super Bowl theory. On Sunday, this will prove if it's really true. So there's a Super Bowl theory going around where in the middle of the season, the NFL releases a logo of the Super Bowl based on like when it's being thrown and like all the settings and that. And they choose 2 colors of the Super Bowl. So the past 2 years, they've been correct. And they're saying this year, it might predict it again. So look, last year's Super Bowl, when it was in Miami, the logo colors were orange and yellow. So it would be Super Bowl whatever, 2000 thing, it would be orange and yellow. That year, it was the Bengals and Rams that were in the Super Bowl. So they predicted it. And then last year in Arizona, the Super Bowl was green and red. And that matchup was the Eagles and Chiefs. There was both red and green. So this year, so if they predicted it correct this year, it already came out, it's purple and red. So the really popular ones to win right now are the Ravens. They're purple.
Yeah.
The really popular ones on the other side is the 49ers. They're red.
So they know what teams are going to play.
They ain't get that one right this time.
All right, y'all need to see these Super Bowl commercials because they're just telling you the truth in plain sight.
We made contact with a new alien species, and apparently they're foodies.
The worst.
We'll need you to cook for them. You'll have access to top secret cooking technology.
Wait, that's just a Hexline pan. I've got these at home.
The pan was developed using material from an alien spacecraft.
What?
We don't have time for a science lesson, Mr. Ramsey. The alien ambassador is over here. Not her. Him.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Whoa.
You know what I mean? All famous people are aliens. I'm not. I meant like really famous people. All right, Tom, your thoughts? Yeah, well, Tom.
No way.
Step aside. Who put these in, Tom? Only Duracell has power boosting.
They said truth in plain sight.
Only run on Duracell. Tom, are you okay? Why does everyone keep asking me that since the roast? I gotta go, Gronk.
The truth is in plain sight. What are your thoughts on this?
Kendrick Lamar just might be the GOAT of the century. And the message he put out, a lot of people ain't gonna catch that. See, Kendrick used that Super Bowl stage to show us that it's true power in art. It can challenge, expose, and transform. And that message that he sent, it wasn't just for the crowd. It was for the whole world to understand. That's what people not understanding. And while I got this picture up, I want to show y'all what that A represents. The A on this chest represents this boy Drake's real name, Arbor Drake Graham. That was him having Drake's funeral right there on that stage. Symbolism. Every single artistic element is showing in his performance tonight. The stage design, the sound design, the lighting design, everything is on point. All this is set up to perfectly complement Kendrick Lamar, bruh. And everybody performing with him and the crowd. Everybody respected and let Kendrick lead. And when you sit back and just process the video and take it for what it really is, you will see the bigger picture in it. That's what this performance was about. Every single element, everything was perfect.
So what was his meaning? What was the...
There's a conspiracy theory floating around that the horrible field conditions of the Super Bowl was done intentionally to benefit the Chiefs, and here's why. 94-year-old George Toma has been a groundskeeper for over 80 years and has advised the preparation of every Super Bowl field, including Super Bowl 57. Well, Toma said the reason for the horrible field conditions was that it was overwatered and not given proper time to dry out before the field got rolled into the stadium, and he claimed that Ed Mangan, the NFL field director in charge of the field, would not listen to advice from anybody, and afterwards Toma was so distraught by it all that he retired after more than 80 years, saying, "I can't take it anymore, me and the league are finished." However, conspiracies began swirling around because George Toma actually worked for the Chiefs for nearly 30 years as their groundskeeper from 1969 to 1999, and because of that, even though he was only in an advising role, he somehow helped sabotage the field to nullify only the Eagles' pass rush and aid the Chiefs, as if the Chiefs' defense wasn't second in the NFL in total sacks, only behind the Eagles, and their overall performance wouldn't be affected as well.
Dang. Conspiracy.
And I want y'all to know this game is about much more than just the Eagles and the Chiefs. Deep down, you all know that this represents the state of this country. You know it. You know it. It feels akin to the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight when, even though it wasn't really overtly said, between Donald Trump being there and the two people that were going at it, it just gave what it was supposed to give. This time, here we go. Between Donald Trump being here and the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Chiefs, it just is giving, it's giving representative of the state of this country. But I'll tell you, this game, it's speaking to the state of the people of this country, and whoever wins, it'll be symbolic. Like, I can't even describe it right now, but it will be symbolic, like, socially. And I know you're probably thinking it's not that deep, but it is. It is. It was that deep during the Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight, and it is equally that deep right now. And I'm grateful that the game is looking how it's looking right now. I need it to stay this way, because every time they pan to Travis Kelce, he just looks so crazy. I don't know. I know he used to date black women, but now I feel like it wasn't in good faith. Now I feel like it really wasn't in good faith.
Oh, she said he looks so great.
What's your 2 cents on Kendrick Lamar doing the halftime show in New Orleans for the Super Bowl, especially knowing like Lil Weezy from New Orleans? I mean, that's big.
Yeah, I mean, it was a choice. I think Kendrick deserves, as a solo artist right now, he's the guy. Yeah. But, you know, having the game be in New Orleans, having it be played in New Orleans, that I can see why they got the win. I think the way the last show was put together with me, Eminem, Dr. Dre, Kendrick was there then. Kendrick and Mary J. Blige.
Yeah.
If
he could bring out P, Master P, Juvie.
Well, he should bring out the people that he featured on big records with, like
True that. But other people too, you know, because I think the great thing about it is to see everybody perform together. You know, and the way Kendrick is bringing people together, even though it's a little beefing. So my question to you is, how you feel about the beefing?
I think it's good for the culture. You wouldn't have. They both Drake and Kendrick produce quality music faster because they would compete with each other. That competitive nature made them go work and have responses. So it's like, you know, it keeps, like hip hop is still, it's not just a genre where you can just make a song and sit back. You got to make a song and be ready to make a song again, like right away, like with other artists.
Yeah. You think Drake would do a Super Bowl? You think that he'll be invited to do a Super Bowl halftime?
You know what I don't think people realize? You have to pay to do the Super Bowl. The artist has to pay, and then for it to be a good Super Bowl show, it has to be elaborate, so you got to spend a lot of money to make an exciting show.
There it is.
Like, breaking news. I didn't know that.
Yeah, tell them to pay for it. Tell the NFL to pay for it, and watch it's going to get a lot better.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go.
That was real. That was real.
Every time you saw Taylor Swift on your TV at the Super Bowl, you were flashed with demonic hand gestures and an inverted cross. Because right next to her was this woman, Ice Spicy. The second she notices she's on TV, she does her hand gestures and shows her cross. I mean, you don't even have to be a conspiracy theorist for this one. Her friends are drinking, doing whatever, watching the game, and she does this. It just looks so forced. And for those of you saying it's not an upside down cross, Playboy Cardi literally posted it on his story. And in up-close videos and photos of her, you can see she's clearly rocking it. After the Chiefs won, the President of the United States posted this on his Instagram saying, "Just like we drew it up in these red eyes." Kanye West was at the game wearing all black with a black mask with Jesus Christ in between his eyes. This is the biggest stage in the world. Everything on your TV is there for a reason, and we haven't even got to the commercials or the halftime show yet. They can continue to show us this imagery and try and normalize it, but I can promise you one thing, I will never stop exposing what is going on in this world.
That definitely ain't look right.
Having Samuel L. Jackson play Uncle Sam, knowing that he has historically played very sinister, very menacing-like characters, and then have him play Uncle Sam at your halftime show in front of Trump and do a whole play on how America really is just a game, and now as you, Kendrick Lamar, you're determining the end goal of that game. Game over, if you will. Yeah. This is a different level of artistry, okay? We don't get to see this all the time. Stuff that has meaning, stuff that has a storyline. Like, quite literally, Kendrick Lamar killed this halftime show. Oh my God, there's gonna be so many things that we're gonna be talking about for the next couple of days, but oh my God, to have Samuel L. Jackson dressed up as Uncle Sam is just like, it's too real, it's too iconic. I love the pauses in between the performances and him, you know, updating how he feels or how America feels. You can't be too black. Honestly, it's giving us looking a little ghetto. You know, truthfully, genius. Kendrick Lamar is a genius.
Been a genius too. This ain't new.
This is the reason why Samuel L. Jackson's Uncle Sam was genius by Kendrick Lamar. Samuel L. Jackson's Uncle Sam is the personification of America, telling Kendrick his performance is too ghetto, and then cutting to Kendrick's all black. Backup dancers arranged as the American flag, all while that man is in attendance, the president, Kendrick Lamar. This is another legendary thing from you, good sir. And he was literally answering the criticisms of people as the freaking performance was going on and just literally letting you guys know what people are going to be saying. It's absolutely incredible. The performance, think what you want. But this, this was genius.
Legendary night for sure.
I want you to pay close attention to the Super Bowl halftime show tonight. The reason being is because there is always some type of demonic and satanic symbolism. This right here was Madonna at the 2012 Super Bowl, posing as the Baphomet, aka Satan. Or remember this right here from the 2013 Super Bowl, when Beyonce, you know, her alter ego Sasha Fierce was coming out and, you know, she was clearly demonically possessed? Or how about the 2023 Super Bowl when Rihanna was, you know, just happily putting up the Illuminati hand symbol? Hey, but don't worry, this year's Super Bowl is going to be hosted by this guy. You know, the same Kendrick Lamar who claims to be a Christian, yet, you know, at the Glastonbury event, he was preaching, saying, you know, they killed you, they killed Christ, sorry, Godspeed for women's rights. And look, I'm not here trying to spread legalism. All I'm saying is pay attention to the signs and the symbols, because Satan, he loves to use all these global events to glorify himself. And look how many people idolize the Super Bowl as well. A lot of people, they put their life savings into it. Stay prayed up though, especially if you're watching this. And like I said, pay close attention to the symbolism that's going to happen, because it happens every single year. Anyways, the name of Jesus Christ will always be glorified, and I pray that somehow, some way, somebody will praise his name at this year's Super Bowl. Share this video with someone you know who's going to be watching tonight's event. And as always, stay prayed up.
Did y'all see any demonic symbolism in this performance?
I wanted to tell you guys the correlation between the Super Bowl and the number 13. The Super Bowl that will be played is Super Bowl 58. 8 plus 5 is 13. The Super Bowl will be played on 2/11. 11 plus 2 is 13. Taylor Swift's lucky number has always been 13, which she named one of her album covers. You guys also want to know how many Grammys she currently has?
This is my 13th Grammy, which is my lucky number. I don't know if I've ever told you that.
By the way, you know when her birthday is? December 13th. And not only that, but she turned 13 years old on Friday the 13th. Taylor Swift's first album cover went gold in 13 weeks as well. By the way, her beloved Travis Kelce is playing the 49ers. 9 plus 4 equals 13. This will also be Taylor Swift's 13th Super Bowl appearance at the big game. It seems to me like all lucky numbers must eventually come to an end. Brock Purdy's time is here. 49ers minus 2. Let's ride.
I guess they got that right last year, huh?
So let's get into this show, since it seems like a lot of people are missing exactly what Kendrick Lamar was talking about. The first shot is basically the stage where it has a triangle, a circle, X, and square, which are video controller symbols. This is showing how America is basically controlling us. In the lights in the crowd, you can see the counting going up to 100. And underneath, there's a loading bar, which is basically symbolizing how this whole performance is signifying a video game and how we're all being played. It then pans to Uncle Sam, aka Samuel L. Jackson, who's the moderator of the whole show. And he basically says, We're introducing the Great American Game, further elaborating on how the government is basically controlling us and playing us. The last part of the introduction shows the lights in the crowd that say start here. And then it points on to where Kendrick starts his performance. This show is basically telling us and explaining the game that is called America. Like for part 2.
I ain't even see all that in the background.
If Kendrick Lamar performs not like us at the Super Bowl, it can cast spells and cause spiritual warfare. Now, you know at these performances, they be having all kind of hand gestures and everything. I don't want to go too much into detail, and I want to throw this out too. This for entertainment purposes only, just for TikTok's sake, but back to it. And not like us, Kendrick Lamar even have a part where he says, hide the Bible if God watching. Now think about it. Without being in the presence of God, that would mean that it's hell, right? So why would you have to hide the Bible from anything that you do? So just think about it. Hide the Bible, God watching, meaning that you don't want God's presence to be around. What you alluding to when you say in that lyric, I can't really say the whole lyric, but under the surface level, all of these entertainment performances, allegedly, there's some magic that we just don't know about that can open up portals and doors if you let them in. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm just spreading the word on this. Be careful with what y'all watch.
That's real. You got to be careful what you watch.
Clearly, Kendrick Lamar's halftime performance went all the way over some people's heads. But what if I were to tell you that was the whole point? Judging by Twitter, the American people need to work on their ability to recognize symbolism. Samuel L. Jackson introduced Kendrick Lamar dressed up as Uncle Sam. Now, this is tough because his name's Sam and he's older, so Uncle Sam, Unc Sam. But also, the term Uncle Sam is a metaphor for the American government and the American people. So that's who he's representing. Keep that in mind. After Kendrick performs Squabble Up, the camera pans over to Uncle Sam, and he's visibly angry. He tells Kendrick, screaming, to tighten up, and that's because Squabble Up is a song derived from violence and rooted in West Coast culture, which is not the music that the American people want to hear. Symbolism. A few songs later, Kendrick brings SZA out, plays the mega hits, Luther, All the Stars. Uncle Sam says something to the effect of, here we go, that's more like it, this is what the people want to hear. Remember, Uncle Sam represents the American people, and if you were watching the halftime show, then it was clear. The crowd reacted more to those songs. That is not a coincidence, rather it was done by design. It was the entire point. So if you're one of those people on Twitter talking about that show was ass, my question to you would be, how does it feel to be made fun of on national TV and have no idea what was going on?
Okay, you guys, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl, and let me tell you why. The NFL knows that everybody's catching on. They understand this. So the only way they're going to be able to psychologically trick you into thinking that the NFL isn't rigged is to let the Eagles win. I can guarantee you, if they let the Eagles win, everybody who has doubts about the NFL is going to believe that it's not rigged. I promise you I'm one of the only people on this planet who's going to make this prediction. But I can't be the only one. There has to be someone else out there as well. We are all catching on though. Everybody on TikTok, we're all aligned. We all understand. We see the fakeness. We see the plays. We see the things going on. We see how, for me personally, it's Taylor Swift's reactions. The way Taylor Swift reacts is so fake. Like, just go watch when they show her and she's reacting to a play. It's literally like so dramatic. Like, it's like the most fake thing I've ever seen in my life. Now, the way that it's not rigged is if the Chiefs actually win the three-peat, okay? Do you really think they're gonna lose thousands of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of viewers to let the Chiefs win? So guys, save this video. Please come back after the Super Bowl. Share it, like it, help support it, because I believe my prediction is correct. And I could be wrong, but that's what the whole thing is about, is just predicting. And to me, this is what seems logical in the realm of the NFL. So mark my words, Eagles will win the Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes, the Chiefs will lose. Everyone's going to get tricked into thinking the NFL's not rigged anymore, and they're all going to continue to watch and feed into it and gamble and feed into that dark energy. And don't forget the drinking every weekend and obsessing over grown men who make millions of dollars while you waste your life away working a 9 to 5.
Ooh, we said waste your life away.
Welcome back to part 2 of Super Bowl conspiracies, where I go through Super Bowl conspiracies to determine who's going to win the big game. This is the East to West theory. Shout out my boy Jay Kuda for finding out this crucial information. Let's get into it and let me know if you find a trend. In 2002, the Super Bowl was held in New Orleans. The Rams traveled a little bit east to get there and the Patriots traveled west. The Patriots won. The 2003 Super Bowl, the Raiders traveled east to San Diego and the Bucs traveled west. The Buccaneers won. 2006 was held in Detroit. The Seahawks traveled east, the Steelers went west. Steelers won. In 2009, it was in Tampa, where the Cardinals traveled east and the Steelers traveled west. Steelers won. 2013 was in New Orleans again, where the Niners traveled east and the Ravens traveled west. The Ravens won the Hard Bowl. 2015, it was in Phoenix, where the Seahawks traveled east and the Patriots traveled west. Russell Wilson was picked off in the end zone. Patriots won. 2019, it was in Atlanta. Rams traveled east, Patriots traveled west. Tom Brady took down Jared Goff. Last year's Super Bowl was in Las Vegas. Niners traveled east, the Chiefs traveled west, and the Chiefs won. Do you get the trend? This year's Super Bowl in New Orleans, where the Chiefs will travel east and the Eagles will travel west, which can mean only one thing. The Eagles will dethrone the Chiefs and become Super Bowl champions. Because in this century, every time the Super Bowl has been played in between the two teams, with one team traveling east, one traveling west, the team traveling west has won. Just something to think about.
Nah, that is wild. That is wild.
There's something really important that all of my conspiracy TikTok folks need to understand about this predictive programming and magic rituals that occur at the Super Bowl halftime show, the Grammys, the Emmys, and elsewhere. You are right that they are performing magic, like last night with the hazmat suits. You're right that they're communicating a message, though there's a lot of people that misunderstand the reasons, the intents, and purposes of this magic spell. For one, they're not trying to communicate to their co-conspirators through interpretive dance and costume design. There's 10,000 easier ways for them to communicate to each other. Also, no, they don't have to tell you ahead of time what they're going to do. I don't know where this belief came from in the New Age, but no, they don't have to tell you ahead of time. There's no universal rule that bad people have to give you hints to what they're going to do. This pseudo-spiritual axiom holds as much weight as what goes around comes around. Honestly, we only say these things and try to believe in these things so we feel less fearful about evil and sleep better at night. The real reason they've been having all these performers dress up like nurses administering a certain type of medication, prison inmates, hazmat workers, or literally the devil himself, is because of what I've already discussed about the true nature of God and the morphogenetic field. What's great about the morphogenetic field that people don't quite understand yet is it's going to explain scientifically what magic is. It's going to show that magic is real. The most ironic thing about us all raising awareness about the rituals that happen at these shows is we're actually helping them. What magic essentially is conscious frequency affecting the quantum field. So for all of these people who are watching the ritual but don't know that they're watching a ritual, all of those things are being recorded in the back of their mind, in their subconscious. And those subconscious thoughts go on repeat. If you get the image of a person in a hazmat suit, that image will replay in the back of your mind. You will be more likely to accept it as a norm in the future. But more importantly, you start emitting the frequencies of the presence of hazmat workers everywhere. Once you do that, you start to create these sort of standing waves of potential. These standing waves of potential start to affect the subconscious minds of many people around you who are now being affected by the frequency you're emanating. And by little micro thoughts, speeches, actions, and behaviors, you actually set the environment up to facilitate more hazmat workers.
That's like saying you start attracting it. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever you focus on, whatever your mind goes, they say wherever your mind goes, energy flows. So it's basically like the same thing.
In it. These are all microtransactions that are happening between us and the environment because of the way the subconscious is being programmed. There's a lot more to this, and I'm going to go into more detail, so please ask any question you want to clear this up in the comments. And also, check out Malia's account and give her a follow. She's doing an entire series on the morphogenetic field and understanding the matrix through this lens.
Buddy sounded like he was going into his bag.
Did you know Rihanna wasn't paid a single dollar for her performance at the Super Bowl? The same goes for The Weeknd, Beyonce, J-Lo, and all the other halftime performers. But what they do get is something money can't buy. Check this out. So the NFL's paid $50 million by the halftime show sponsor. This year was Apple. And of that, they give $10 to $15 million to each performer's production budget. This is for the dancers, crew, stage, and marketing. But the artist keeps nothing. If $15 million for production isn't enough, the artist has to pay the difference out of their own pocket.
What?
But it's worth every penny for the exposure. The halftime show is a one-of-a-kind commercial to 200 million people around the world. To buy the 15-minute spot, a brand would have to spend $210 million, which makes it essentially priceless. And artists typically see huge spikes in followers, streams, and sales directly after the game. The Weeknd sold 1 million concert tickets in the next 7 days after his performance. And for Rihanna, she brilliantly used her own makeup during the show. Google searches for her company, Fenty Beauty, were up almost 9x during the game.
Wow. That's a lot.
I will go to my grave saying that Tom Brady knew that the balls were then being deflated. Because the only reason balls are deflated is if that's how the quarterback likes the footballs. I know that from experience.
Do I think the NFL scripted? You think I really would have played along with the script that had me losing to Peyton's little brother Eli twice in the Super Bowl?
That's what practice was about. It was about practicing the script.
It was discovered that 11 of the 12 Patriots balls were underinflated by roughly 2 pounds per square inch.
If balls were deflated, as I said a week after it all happened, if balls were deflated...
They're not even trying to hide it anymore. It's in plain sight.
On January 26, 2015, the same day the Patriots arrive in Arizona for the Super Bowl, it is reported that the league had interviewed a Patriots locker room attendant who was allegedly caught on surveillance during the AFC game, taking 2 bags of footballs from the officials' locker room into a bathroom and leaving the bathroom 90 seconds later.
What?
I don't know what to think, honestly. There's a lot of evidence. I don't know. What do you think?
Deflategate was real. That's what I think.
No one wants to go to the Super Bowl this year. The tickets are down 58%. They're $2,000 cheaper than last year. Now, this could be for a couple reasons. We've seen the Super Bowl before versus the Chiefs and the Eagles. I mean, we've seen the Chiefs now pretty much every year in the last 4 years, and people are just bored of it. Also, you got the huge scandal with the Saints and the Pelicans in New Orleans church. So, that's playing into it as well. There's also that there was just a terrorist situation early in January at the Superdome. So, people, that's fresh off too. So, this is just... everything's just not going the way for this Super Bowl. And to be honest, Super Bowl tickets are too expensive anyway. They should do discounted tickets for fans of teams. Now what they gonna do is they're gonna comp a lot of these tickets out to celebrities and things like that. When you just see random celebrities at this game, just know they gave them the tickets for free. But what I think they should do is when you're if you're checking out a Super Bowl ticket, if you're gonna buy one, they should give you they should give you 20 seconds captcha to answer questions about the history of the team or players on the team. If you pass that test, you get a 50% discount. But right now, the Super Bowl ain't looking too hot.
50%, still a lot of bread. I ain't even know.
Many celebrities have reacted to Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show performance. First up, Taylor Swift said, "Just who else can do this?" Next, Eminem said, "This looks insane for everyone witnessing it in real life." Next, Jay-Z said, "Definitely the right guy for the job." Next, Travis Kelce said, "The atmosphere during Not Like Us was unmatched." Next, Rihanna said, "Everything I needed and more." And finally, Chris Brown said, "Gonna be his year again, huh?" Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show in New Orleans was nothing short of a cultural moment, blending music, storytelling, and controversy into a 13-minute performance that has left fans and critics buzzing. As expected, Kendrick's setlist included some of his biggest hits like Humble and DNA, alongside newer tracks from his GNX album. However, the most talked about moment came when he performed Not Like Us, his Grammy-winning diss track aimed at Drake. While Kendrick excluded some of the song's more controversial lyrics during the live rendition, he leaned into its confrontational energy, even flashing a sly grin at the camera as the crowd chanted along to the infamous "A Minor" line. SZA joined Kendrick on stage for their collaborations Luther and All the Stars, adding in a more pop touch to the performance. Despite the praise for Kendrick's artistry and boldness, the performance has not been without backlash. Critics have accused him of using the Super Bowl stage to escalate his feud with Drake, arguing that it overshadowed the celebratory nature of the event. Others felt the show leaned too heavily on symbolism, with some calling it divisive rather than unifying. Fans, however, have largely defended Kendrick's approach, praising him for staying true to his vision and using the platform to deliver a meaningful message. Social media has been flooded with reactions ranging from admiration for his creativity to debates about whether his performance crossed any lines. This performance has yet again been another viral moment for Kendrick. Whether people loved or hated the performance, one thing is certain, and that thing is that everybody is definitely talking about it. For this video's comment question, do you think Kendrick deserved the gig? Before you go, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for daily news updates on your favorite celebs. Thanks a lot for watching.
Do you think Kendrick deserved to perform at the Super Bowl? Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm just not over this yet. This was just too iconic for me. The message he really sent to America was insane. Kendrick performing all of this knowing Trump was in the stands was insane. We're going to be talking about this for the next couple of days. This was really a 10 out of 10 performance. He said there was a message to send to America, and that's exactly what he did. Then he had Game Over in the crowd. Bro. Like them playing all the stars again because they knew that's what America likes to see. And it's like, I just keep going back to watch the video because I keep finding more things that I'm discovering. The artistry, the creativity, the symbolism, everything about this was like really like eye-opening. Like you really have to understand the message that Kendrick was trying to send. Since his mic was on, Kendrick literally taunted America in front of the president at the biggest sports event of America. But bro, Kendrick definitely deserved his flowers after all of this. Like, bro, I don't know. I've never really been a Kendrick fan, but like now I think I am. Definitely sent the message. I mean, somebody got to do it right. How do y'all think Drake feeling right now? I really got to go back and digest everything that he was doing, everything he was saying, because like the lyrics he was choosing with the songs that he was performing, bro, chef's kiss, bro. I can't. Yes, y'all can say what y'all want. Y'all can say it wasn't good, but like I said, it went over y'all's head. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about to continue to do a deep dive. I gotta go. That's from who? Zebo, yeah.
He said he wasn't a Kendrick fan before.
Super Bowl 2025 halftime show, amazing. Here's Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam, and like his job is to make sure that Kendrick Lamar serves the American people and just keeps it good for America. Immediately, there's all of this red, white, and blue iconography. They're literally making an American flag, and there he is right there in the middle of it. The backup singers are amazing. Angelic. The backup dancers are also just doing such interesting, beautiful movement. And this is all storytelling. Mm-hmm. You've got characters doing sort of a call and response back and forth with him. You've got other characters acting as more chorus. But like, this is fascinating. It's stitching together all of these songs. But again, it feels like we are experiencing a narrative. Again, more black, excellent, beautiful SZA singing her beautiful, beautiful face off.
She's funny.
Now, at this point in the show, Uncle Sam is like, hey, you better not. But he can't help himself. Mustard! And there he is with that wonderful football. It's so iconic. Like, literally, this is going to be referenced for a very, very long time. And then he tells us to turn this TV off, and look at that smile, because he knows what he just did. And that's what I did. I stopped watching. Turn this TV off. Amazing. Now, I'll be honest. I'm never there for the game. I'm not the core audience for the game. I'm there for the commercials and this.
She is funny. Her energy is funny.
No wonder Kendrick Lamar was willing to lose $15 million just to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show. He set 3 traps to completely take down Drake. Kendrick spent $15 million setting up his halftime show stage, but he wouldn't get paid for the performance. So why did he insist on doing it? First, Kendrick and Drake have been feuding for a long time, and Drake has never performed at a Super Bowl halftime show. For an artist, getting this spot is a huge honor. So Kendrick wanted to secure it and prove to fans that he's far superior to Drake. Second, Kendrick performed Not Like Us, delivering another major blow to Drake. Drake initially sued Kendrick over the song, claiming Kendrick made up lies in the lyrics to reflect his real-life actions. Kendrick's choice was obviously intentional. With the Super Bowl's massive audience, he wanted as many people as possible to see Drake become a joke. Lastly, Kendrick aimed to boost his fame through the Super Bowl and make more money on tour. Since his legal battle with Drake is expected to drag on, he needs to cover high attorney fees. Without financial and fan support, fully defeating Drake would be tough. Kendrick's plan worked perfectly. His Super Bowl performance was widely praised, while Drake remained silent. Some even joke that he still hasn't dared to turn on his TV.
This is major. This is major.
What if Donald Trump was the reason that the Chiefs lost? Prior to the game, Donald Trump picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. And he became the first sitting president to attend a Super Bowl.
Wow.
Now, we all know that Trump wants to drain the swamp. We also know that Donald Trump loves sports. He loves sports so much so that he once almost bought the Buffalo Bills. He was even seen at the Super Bowl with the NFL commissioner, Roger Goodell. So what if, in a crazy attempt to save the NFL, to drain the NFL swamp, he said, hey, if the refs don't call a fair game, I'm going to expose the NFL for all of the fraud like he's doing with the government.
No.
Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show has left everybody split down the middle. People either thought it was mid, but the people who were paying attention thought it was brilliant. The halftime show was much more than some performance or a concert. It was a damn statement. It was an act of defiance that I believe was directed at the president of the United States that was sitting in the stadium. It starts off with Samuel L. Jackson coming out dressed up as Uncle Sam. He looks at the crowd and says, "This is your Unc Sam. And this is the great American game." Then there was Kendrick Lamar stating that the revolution will be televised. I'd like to note that at one point during the performance, the actual screen behind him, the monitors that were lighting up that said game over at the end, at one point had a message that said, "Warning, wrong way." Then the line I don't think you could have missed unless you weren't paying attention. Kendrick Lamar stating, "You picked the right time, but the wrong guy."
Yeah.
This led back to Samuel L. Jackson later on asking Kendrick, "But Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game?"
Right.
Then came the really good line, "I see you brought the homeboys with you. Scorekeeper, deduct 10 points." Then came the most visually stunning part of the show. Originally, the dancers had formed together to create an American flag while they were all garbed out in red, white, and blue. But then later, they scatter in different directions, and eventually, with Kendrick Lamar in the middle, the flag is split in half, showing the division in our country. It was quite clear that this entire performance was a message directed at the president because they knew he was going to be in attendance. Let me know what you think in the comments down below.
Yeah, it was a lot of symbolism. It was a lot.
Kendrick is so calculated. Man, he's the best rap anthropologist I've ever seen in my life because he breaks things down to a way that's so precise it's scary. His references in the first second, using Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam, but also having that be a homage to Do the Right Thing of Samuel Jackson being the radio show host at the same time, and also connecting that back to the revolution would not be televised. Jill Scott Heron, right? Knowing that America is in a crazy place within its political scene and the subjugation of black people is still present as it has always been, and the rise of fascists, disease, all of that. And being able to also give entertainment, but education for those who know, for those who are part of the in-group, is what makes him an anthropologist, is what makes him someone who's so studied, so cultured, and who understands himself more than Drake will ever, because he's not trying to be anything else. He's just being himself. He's being of his community. He's being of LA, being just that guy, being that person who understands his culture, understands the plights and tribulations, but also wants to be authentic to who he is, no matter what the stage is. That was special for everybody who was watching. Whether you're in the culture or out of the culture, you should know that was spiritual more than it was lyrical, but it was spiritual and lyrical. You get me? Mad ting, But what were your thoughts on it? There's a lot more I didn't even touch on, but that Super Bowl presentation, concert, whatever it was something special.
Spiritual.
Let's break down why the biggest stage in the world
is actually an occult ceremony in disguise. The Super Bowl is not just a football game, it's a massive cultural spectacle with millions of people watching. Many people believe that these performances are more than just entertainment. Many halftime shows feature flames, pyrotechnics, performers emerging from the flames, symbolizing an alchemical process of initiation. Fire has been used in occult rituals for ages, and it symbolizes rebirth, destruction, and transformation. A lot of times you'll see dancers or performers as hooded figures or in cloaks, and this represents the initiates undergoing that transformation. Performers are often seen descending from the sky or ascending to the sky, and this is representing either divine ascension or the fallen angel archetype. Also, the dark and light transitions. Many performers begin in darkness or ignorance and end with bright, blinding lights, symbolizing enlightenment or rebirth. These things literally mirror esoteric ceremonies and traditions that have went on for ages. A lot of times you'll see the colors red, white, black, and sometimes even gold. And these colors have really deep occult meanings. Red often represents sacrifice, sometimes initiation. White often represents purity or enlightenment. And then we have black, which represents the unknown or mysteries. Many past halftime Super Bowl performances have utilized these occult themes, whether it was intentional or not. In 2023, we had Rihanna, who began elevated in the sky, dressed in red, with an army of white-clad dancers. In 2021, we had The Weeknd, and his performance was filled with red-robed figures and a fallen angel theme. In 2015, we had Katy Perry. She rode this huge beast-like figure, ultimately representing the of Babylon that we have seen in the book of Revelations, and a checkerboard stage. One key aspect in occult rituals is the concept of consent, or revealing the method to the participants. According to occult law, magic or energy harvesting rituals work best when the participants are willingly participating by watching, singing along, or even emotionally engaging in the Super Bowl halftime show. You are willingly giving your energy to the ritual. The performances are designed to provoke strong emotions like excitement or shock. People sing along, they clap, or even chant. The belief that in order for a ritual to be truly powerful, the participants must consent on some level is seen in many ancient occult practices like Hermeticism, the Lima, and even ceremonial magic. However, this consent does not have to be direct or conscious consent. It can be symbolic. It can be subconscious. If you guys have seen my previous video on language and numbers, then you guys know that numbers hold the key to the universe. Symbols are often made from numbers. Occult symbols bypass logical thinking and influence the deeper levels of our psyche. In other words, the conscious mind may dismiss esoteric symbols as artistic choice, but the subconscious mind absorbs them very deeply. A lot of artistic work is often a metaphor meant to be interpreted, and that's the same thing with song lyrics, which is why reading between the lines is so important, because they are telling you exactly what they are doing, but our conscious mind just ignores it. For example, Madonna's halftime show in 2021, she sang Like a Prayer, which is a metaphor disguised as a love song, but it's actually about spiritual transformation. Then we have Katy Perry's halftime show in 2015. She sang Dark Horse, which is referencing an irreversible spiritual transformation. Even in 2021, The Weeknd sang Blinding Lights, which is a song about being blinded by the glamorous lifestyle of fame and fortune. In the occult, it is important that all participants be aware of the ritual. And since they are trying to use the energy of the collective to essentially ignite the power of the ritual, that means they need to tell us as the participants in some sort of way. And it is often through symbolism, but mostly their lyrics. Knowing that the general public won't consciously recognize the ritual, but they'll still engage in it. And that's all they need for the ritual to be powerful. So when you watch this year's Super Bowl halftime performance, try to see if you can spot any symbolism. Here are some things to look out for. One of them is color symbolism. The red, black, white colors that I spoke about earlier in the video. Also the dualistic nature of black and white. A lot of times you'll see the black and white tiled floors. Fire, dancers in robes or cloaked figures, references to higher powers or fallen angels. For example, a performer that is falling from the sky or ascending into the sky, and even Egyptian symbolism. Then comment back on this video and let me know what stuck out to you. And remember to follow me if you like more content like this.
She gave a serious breakdown.
This is probably the craziest Super Bowl conspiracy that I've ever heard. Carson Wentz was once the former franchise quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles. He is currently the backup quarterback for the Chiefs in this year's Super Bowl against the Eagles. And there are people who actually think he's been plotting this whole time from the inside. Listen to this. Wentz actually has an indirect role in helping assemble the roster the Eagles will have today against his Kansas City Chiefs. Now follow along with me. The Eagles traded Wentz to the Colts for a 2021 third-round pick and 2022 conditional first-round pick. They then used that 2022 first-round pick to execute a trade with the Saints that Philadelphia turned into A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and Cooper DeJean. And they used the 2021 third-round pick to trade up and grab Devontae Smith. So think about this for a second. Just from this Carson Wentz trade alone, the Eagles got their number 1 and number 2 receivers, Jalen Carter, who's one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL, and Cooper DeJean, who as a rookie put up these numbers and came in 4th in Defensive Rookie of the Year voting. So even though Carson Wentz no longer plays for the Eagles, he's basically the biggest reason the Eagles are in the Super Bowl trying to beat his Chiefs in this Super Bowl. You gotta love these conspiracy theorists.
These people be going deep with this stuff.
All right, so even though there was no bombshell Doge drop or anything to do with Elon whatsoever like we were hoping, there was still a little bit of a unique halftime show, and there's always room to analyze some of these shows. A lot of people believe that there's some satanic elements sometimes, but I definitely did catch something that's not being reported on anywhere out there. I've even Googled it, and nobody's talking about this. So the beginning of the show started off with the crowd having numbers counting down, and then it went to him singing on stage, rapping on stage, and then it showed this.
I ain't see that.
Warning, wrong way.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
That's what it said in the crowd. You can Google this right now, and no one's talking about it. It's nowhere. It's not on any networks at all. It says warning, wrong way, right? Now, Kendrick Lamar had stated that he was going to put on a heck of a show. He's got beef, if you guys don't know, in the rap game. And so then another one of the words in the stands later on had said, game over. And there's not really much room to analyze that. I mean, on the stage, it was circles, squares, triangles, X's, you know, like a remote. But for it to say, warning, wrong way. I mean, warning, wrong way. That was a little bit unique. That doesn't really resonate or have anything to do whatsoever with this halftime show. And then some of the words that he had used during his performance were, the revolution's about to be televised, but you picked the wrong guy. Again. And then shortly after was, warning, wrong way. That's weird. And to be honest with you, if you read the reports out there regarding this halftime show, everybody can understand what it was, but there is still, like always, some subliminal messaging, and this here is one of them, for sure. Don't read into it too much, but out of the entirety of the evening, I had to find something to report on. I had to find a reason to make a TikTok about something. But tomorrow, there should be much to report, because based off of Trump's interview that he had this morning with Fox, he might be sending Doge after the education department. Can't wait.
This stuff.
The winning team of the Super Bowl is gonna win by 4 points because 1 + 3 = 4. This Taylor Swift conspiracy theory is getting out of hand.
I was born on the 13th. I turned 13 on Friday the 13th. My first album went gold in 13 weeks. Also, thanks. My first song that ever went #1, it had a 13-second intro. And every time I've ever won an award at an award show, I've either been seated in the 13th row or row M, which is the 13th letter. Wow. And when I won the Horizon Award at the CMA Awards, the producer came up to me when I was sound checking and said, all right, we're gonna go in 13 seconds.
And to keep the 13s going, Taylor Swift is flying to Las Vegas from Tokyo. And the flight time from Tokyo to Las Vegas is about 13 hours. This is the 58th Super Bowl, and what's 5 plus 8? 13. And where some people consider the number 13 extremely lucky, others believe that this is one of the worst numbers. And it's really common for the number 13 to be skipped in buildings and elevators, even though we all know that 12A is actually 13. And just to top everything off, people believe that Taylor Swift is actually the daughter of Zena LaVey. Zena LaVey is the daughter of Anton LaVey, and he is the man who founded the Church of Satan in 1966.
Whoa.
The list goes on and on. What do you think? Coincidence or not?
That's debunked because they lost.
So these are the last 6 Super Bowl halftime performances, and I'm kind of going to go over them a little bit. 2020 was cool. To be honest, it was kind of mid. 2021 with The Weeknd, it felt like The Weeknd didn't have a good microphone in 2021. Like, it wasn't loud. There was no bass. There was no feeling to it. Even though The Weeknd is a very good artist, 2021's halftime show, again, okay. Now, 2022 is truly one of the greatest halftime shows of all time. It's in LA. The big LA West Coast artists were the ones headlining the show. In my opinion, it was perfect work by Jay-Z to get all these artists to go to LA and put on an absolute masterclass. 2023 Rihanna was a lot of spectacle, but it was really good. The whole world figured out that Rihanna was pregnant, including her own father. 2024 with Usher was another perfect occasion. The King of Vegas performed in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Makes sense to me. Then Kendrick this year, I'm expecting big things.
He said Rihanna daddy found out.
What's a conspiracy theory that you 1,000% believe in?
The Super Bowl was rigged, bought and paid for by corporate advertising sponsors. I already know there's going to be some people who are like, oh, you're just a 49ers fan. Look, either way, I could care less. Didn't have a dog in the fight. I'm just saying, professional sports, bought and paid for. Story time, let me tell you why. See, I played high school football, and when I played high school football, I played on a pretty decent team. We went to a state championship. And during that game, there was no reason we should have lost. The team that we were playing, we should have easily beat them. But, however, some bad calls got made, and it was an uphill battle the entire game, and guess what? We lost. Much later, we found out that the team that we were playing had a sponsorship from the local news station. And guess what? The referee's daughter had an interview to be the new weather girl. That's not even life-changing money that somebody was willing to put their job on the line for. Imagine the millions, nay, I say billions of dollars that was made during the Super Bowl. Advertising, betting, sports contracts, there's a lot of money to be won and lost. I'm not complaining. I love WWE. I'm just saying that all professional sports have basically turned into WWE. And as a true wrestling fan, we're not going to say the F word, we're going to say predetermined. Just like professional wrestling, sure, call it out on the field. Give the people a show, but at the end, make sure this guy goes over. I think money changes a lot of people. There are guys who can punt almost 100 yards, but somehow miss a field goal. Quarterback hadn't been sacked all season, but somehow there's holes in the pocket. We're playing man-to-man zone coverage, but somehow this guy's wide open. Just saying, with all the technology and all the money involved, it's a little bit easier to believe that it's predetermined than it's just 2 teams out there playing. Hey, prove me wrong. Oh, and speaking of advertising, the Body by Bacon shirt is now officially available right up here.
All right, so that was another TikTok compilation of Super Bowl conspiracy theories. Y'all let me know in the comments, did you see any symbolism? And what did you think? The whole warning, that was crazy. I didn't see that while watching it. So people picking up on that was crazy to see. The Taylor Swift 13. Come on. It was a lot of energy around that Super Bowl performance. It was a lot of energy. People wanted to see what Kendrick Lamar was going to do. Was he going to perform that song? Was he going to say certain words? Was he going to say Drake's name? It was a lot of questions that got answered. And there was a lot of questions that still stand when it comes to some of the symbolism and stuff. Y'all let me know in the comments what you thought about the Super Bowl performance. Do you think it was a great performance, good performance, mid, whatever you think? Man, but till next time, hold on, you made it this far, you a real one for real, my bad. But till next time, self-love and positivity fire squad, I got you when you know it. Boom.